All right, good morning, Remax Distinctive. It's Dan Bouchard with today's Maryland and Pennsylvania compliance call for the month of May. This is a real case that was presented before the Maryland Real Estate Commission, and if you want reference to it, I will attach it to the materials for this course, and it'll be available on the YouTube channel, and it'll also be available for delivery to you after this recording is completed. So this is a case with the licensee Takanya person who was the agent involved, and I'm going to switch this display here and do a summary of the call, do a summary of it that was generated by AI. Thank you to AI to summarize the content of this. So it was a Maryland Real Estate Commission disciplinary decision against Takanya Person. Takanya Person, a licensed real estate salesperson, was found to have violated the Maryland Real Estate Brokers Act. The charges resulted from a real estate transaction that occurred in 2019. Person represented a buyer in a property sale. A dispute arose concerning a seller contribution addendum. Person submitted an addendum indicating 3% seller contribution, which deviated from the original 1.5% contribution. The signatures on the 3% addendum were not electronic, unlike the original contract, which utilized electronic signatures. The commission determined that Person had forged the signatures of the buyer and the seller on this addendum. Person had been subject to prior disciplinary action in 2018. The Maryland Real Estate Commission determined that Person committed the following violations, making a misrepresentation per the legal code found, and you could Google this code here to see what the violation was. And engaging in a dishonest and fraudulent and improper dealings, and violating the Maryland Real Estate Commission Code of Ethics. And the commission's decision, Person's real estate license was suspended for a period of 1 year, and a penalty of $6,000 was assessed against Person's license remains suspended until the civil penalty is paid in full. And I did just check again yesterday, and she still is not relicensed. The commission concluded that that person forged signatures on a critical document. This document represented a major breach of trust in violation of real estate law, and the decision emphasizes the paramount importance of honesty and integrity in real estate transactions. So one of the things that did happen is the deal actually did settle with the 3% being paid out, rather than the 1.5%, and that's what prompted the whole situation from being brought to us. So just be aware on your toes, regardless of the side that you're participating in the transactions. Watch your ALTA statements to make sure that they match the agreed upon terms. And when you see discrepancies, it's our job to make sure that we understand that we follow those and watch for those discrepancies, because whoever's liable for those discrepancies is, we're liable to it as licensees, so we have to make sure that our clients are protected. Obviously, I'm surprised that nobody caught it at the settlement table, but nonetheless, it did get fixed in the end. And I do believe that not only did the Takanya have to pay the difference in that was the fraudulent part of that credit, but the $6,000 fine was put on top of whatever she had to make for restitution. Anybody have any thoughts or comments on that discussion?
And does it say she had to pay the restitution to the seller?
The original version did, yes. Yeah.
But does it list the amount that she had to pay, like whatever that extra 1.5 was?
No, I don't think it did say that. No, it didn't say that. That information wasn't provided in the document.
Could a seller also take her to court for like a true crime like fraud?
Yeah, I think so. I think that probably could have. That could have happened. Yeah.
Huh. Because
Yeah.
it seems like that's like, even that's kind of like stealing money from a bank where
Yeah.
like you could literally go to jail.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be. And that could be mortgage fraud too.
Right.
That's mortgage fraud. So she could have faced federal charges on that. You raise a very good point, Kevin. Yeah.
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 That's kind of scary how serious that could become for her
Yeah.
or
Well, and
anybody
then
that would do it.
in addition to that, she had also been charged with something else in 2018. So, and it seems like she's no longer in the business. So at least she's not licensed currently. So food for thought. That's all we have for today.
And is this a common thing?
I have not seen this terribly frequently. Um, I have seen cases where the parties had agreed to something and there was simply a signature that was missing. Um, and an agent fraudulently forged a signature in order to document the case where there really had been a mutual agreement, but the paperwork was lacking, and therefore they just signed it. But I'd never seen a case that was this blatant and overt, where it was presented, went to settlement, and was just so blatant like that. So, but it happens. Obviously, it happens because we have this case to look at. Any other thoughts or comments on it? All right. Well, let's go make some money. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Dan.
You bet.